Welcome back, F-tier audience, to our S+ tier show, Tier It Up!
Tear it up.
I'm Kalista.
I'm Nolan.
This is our special guest.
I'm Kyle.
And today we are ranking
Olympic
sports.
Olympic sports.
So Kyle, you are a guest,
That's right.
so you get to choose first.
Okay. Completely non-random assortment of sports here. I'll go ahead and pick it. Whoa, bobsleigh. Who would have ever guessed?
Bobsleigh. I thought it was
Yeah.
pronounced bobsledding for one.
Well,
That's what I thought.
I
too.
went off Wikipedia. They say it's Bob Sleigh, which I think is a cool name. I think this is a sport where like you don't really consider it as like a normal thing. It's definitely an Olympic thing. You know,
That's
The
true.
Jamaican bobsled team, that's such a good success story, and it's really the first thing that comes to mind when you think of the sport of bobsledding. So I think that, but I think honestly that might be its only claim to fame.
well, I don't know about that. There's also like the visual component about this is very stunning. Like when you watch them go down the chute, like just curving, like, and like it's like this team of dudes just like huddled in there. I don't know, something about that. It's enchanting, okay? I think it's such a goofy premise, right? Because, you know, they got this little, like, cubby thing. They just push it and then hop
They
in.
look like little sardines.
It's so silly.
It reminds me of the thing from Polar Express when they get in the little tube and go like.
It's, I don't know.
Yeah.
In terms of, like, sporting and athletics, I don't really know a whole lot about the specifics of what makes it difficult. But just from an audience perspective alone, the spectatorship of this sport is insane to me. I love it.
I think this is a solid B tier.
Yeah, I think B or A. I would lean towards A, but if you guys are
I
feeling
think
B,
I'll
that's
lean
fine.
more towards
Oh.
B. How about you, Kyle? What do you think?
So I think it's missing that element of danger. You know what I'm saying?
Well,
They
there
can't
are.
fly out.
You can fly out. However, I have a suggestion for how we improve bobsleigh. Let's
I'll
say,
be sure to forward this to committee.
yeah, instead of putting one on the track at a time, what if we make a giant track and just have them all go at once?
That would be baller as hell.
I think-
Bumper
People would
cars,
die.
Yeah,
bumper cars,
exactly.
bobsleigh.
So because of the lack of
Holy
danger,
shit.
do you want to knock that down to B?
I think so.
I think the lack of danger is something that we can maybe assess with a future sport. Wink, wink, though.
Exactly,
So
yeah.
there is definitely a better
It's a
version.
little
of
There's
Bobsleigh.
several sports with guns. So
Well, that's not really what I meant, but
My motto is the more sport is like Mario Kart, the higher it goes.
that's a good
that's a
philosophy,
valid
Kyle.
way to go about it.
Speaking of Mario, table tennis.
Okay.
This is kind of a shitpost sport in the Olympics.
Okay, I'm gonna stop you there. It absolutely is. However, have you seen how aggressive and how into it they get? It's actually super entertaining. Like when I saw it on the list, I was like, they got freaking table tennis in the Olympics? Hell no. But then I started watching it, I was like, oh my god, this is actually really cool. Like, you think ping pong and you're like, oh, just chilling out, whatever. Nuh-uh. This is Olympic ping pong.
Olympic.
Okay, it's actually kind of badass.
So I agree with you. Watching it is very intense. It goes very fast. My thing is, I think that works against itself in a way because it's hard to see the action that well. The ball just whizzes back and forth over and over again. And it's like watching these matches, it gets very repetitive when they get in their flows and they're just like woo, 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 woo.
See, I see where you're coming from. I think that is a valid critique. It is, after all, pretty limited, right? You just have a small little table and you're bashing the ball back and forth.
As an Olympic sport, I'm not trying to watch professional table tennis. So I think because of that, I'm going to put that at C.
I'll agree. I think it's like a lot of these sports in the Olympics, it's really fun to play.
Yeah, for sure.
But if we're ranking it on Olympics, we're probably going to be watching it since we're
Right.
not in the Olympics, as
Right.
it turns out.
That's true. I don't know. I think in terms of athleticism, there's definitely a bit to be desired. It doesn't really flex very much. It's just like, oh, we're playing ping pong. But I will say it's surprisingly engaging. I'm cool with B or C.
I think C.
Okay.
Nolan, your turn.
Let's see what we got. Okay, luge. Now, we were just saying that bobsleigh
danger
has no
factor.
danger. This is just a dude on his back. Holy shit. That is... when I saw this, like, as a kid for the first time, I was like, how is he not dead? Like, it's insane. Like, at least with bobsleigh, you have your shield. You have your little, like, crew, and you're all in it together.
This you're just raw dogging it.
balls out, just on the ice. Like,
And it's a good name too, luge.
I know, it's so
It really rolls
it's
off
so
the tongue.
smooth. It's
I
like
think because of that, it should go up in A tier.
I would go S. Honestly, this is insane. Like the speed, but he's so peaceful. He's just chilling like this. I don't know, man. It's angelic. For me, this is
I just think there are other Winter Olympics. Like, I think that the ski jump is a better sport than luge.
Well, it doesn't
So I
have to be
think
the
because
best
of
one.
that, I think it should be an A. It's not the most entertaining thing to watch because you're just watching a guy.
Yeah,
That's
I'm with
true.
you, yeah.
It's not super entertaining the entire time.
But I respect the danger,
Oh,
and it is
100%.
entertaining for a Winter Olympic sport.
I think the Winter Olympic sports are awesome all around. I
think
push
it-
for S.
What do you think, Kyle?
I don't think S. I have some other sports in mind that I'd like to see in
Oh,
S.
there's no limit on
I
S.
think we gotta. Well, there's no limit, but I think you have
But
to
when
make
you
the
compare it
division
against the other
somewhere.
S tier sports that I'm
Exactly.
thinking of,
Okay, well, that's fine. We can
And
go
it's,
A.
it's just bobsleigh without like. the
It's
car.
bobsleigh
Yeah.
plus.
So, but does that move it up 2 whole tiers?
I was
or-
gonna go A for bobsleigh. You might remember.
That's true, but for me, I think A is fine for
All right,
me.
all right.
I agree. Kyle, you're up.
Okay, let's do this guy. We got pentathlon.
The athletic ability you need for this is great. You got the guns. You got what is it?
There's horse, there's
Equestrian,
swimming,
running,
running,
sword,
fencing, and
fencing,
Yeah.
and swimming, and running, and gun. That's
Absolutely
pretty
insane.
badass.
It's definitely baller. I will say though, like this is a very minor critique because obviously it takes a lot of individualized skill to be able to compete in something like this. I do think that if you're looking at the Olympics, you want to see the very best of the very best at every individual thing.
And because of that pentathlon, you're not getting the best.
Right,
A lot of
right,
people,
right.
because they have experience in equestrian, that's what they look for in a pentathlon.
Correct.
And you can learn the rest.
Mm.
But if I want to see someone shoot a gun, I want to see the best gun shooter ever. If
Yeah.
I see someone ride a horse, they better do the best horse rider ever.
Right.
That's
And I
true.
think that is
And
the
you know,
downfall.
equestrian is its own sport.
Well, so are all of them, to be fair.
Yeah.
So,
So
I'm
I-
not saying it's redundant, but I am saying that I feel like the only main appeal of pentathlon is the fact you're doing them all. Yeah, I think C is fair.
I don't have much to say about this one. It's just kind of a hodgepodge of a bunch
It
of
is,
sports.
it is.
It seems a little bit.
together.
And they're
It's
just
almost
so
crowded.
disjointed.
Right. They're not even that similar. Like,
No.
you have, I don't know.
Track and field.
Okay.
You're a track and field
Yeah.
guy.
I bet I'll let Kyle have
I-
his moment here.
Yeah.
Okay, so track and field. A positive I will say is that there's not much controversy. If you cross the line in front of someone, that's just about it.
Mm-hmm.
Not much stoppage. That's the thing I have against a lot of American sports is like there's so much stoppage and is there a foul? Blah blah blah. Track and field, you just go.
All right.
This is one of those sports that is actually less fun to play than to watch.
Yeah.
I can attest to that.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know.
But watching it, I think it's fun.
I think distance brings it down. I think the field events are really underrated.
Oh,
I
for
love
sure.
shot put. I love javelin.
I love the
throw.
jumping.
I love
Pretty
watching
much
strong women throw things. That's the best part of the Olympics.
That's
to me.
my fantasy.
I love the 100-meter. I love the flamboyance
Oh,
of
it's so
sprinting.
Pole
Yeah.
vaulting.
Pole vaulting. Oh my gosh, I love it. I would put this in A tier. I would be S tier if it wasn't for the long distance.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense that they kind of fuse a lot of these together since obviously, like, just a pole vault or just a triple jump can't be its own sport. per
It's
se.
honestly the rawest
but-
display of
Right,
athleticism.
right.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no accessories. It's just you go at it. How
I'd
fast can you
say
go?
put it in A tier.
It's pure. I respect it for sure.
I go A or B, but A is fun.
I think A is reasonable.
I think you're a little bit jaded because
That's true.
Okay, weightlifting.
yes.
So, I am a little biased in terms of my impression of this. Like, I find it very impressive, but I also can't lift very well. So,
I think this is definitely an S tier sport. You're
It's raw
seeing these
strength.
absolute muscle bound champions lift heavy things over their heads.
it's
Put
impressive.
it more monkey brain. I want to see that.
Yeah, that makes sense. I can get behind that. Right.
I think that's an S tier sport.
I think it's well, we'll let Kyle. I'm cool
Yeah.
with that, but
Here's where I start to disagree.
okay.
Um,
Elaborate.
so I don't know. With sports, I like to see lots of action, lots of movement. Lots of unpredictability. Basically, with weightlifting, and I don't watch a lot of weightlifting to be fair, but it's just like okay, the person walks up there and they pick up a really heavy thing.
Right.
Maybe you add some more weights. Oh, are they gonna pick it up?
Uh,
Oh, they picked it up.
I do
Okay, but
see your
weightlifting's
point.
probably
Yeah.
one of the only sports where you could watch someone have an anal prolapse live on TV.
Actually, that
What
might
if I
dock it a
don't want
tier
to see
for me.
that?
Kalista, I was with you on the S tier. Now I'm honestly not convinced. I don't want to see
Also,
that.
I feel like if you tried hard enough, you could have anal prolapse in track. I've seen some things occur on that track.
I don't know. I mean, I think Kyle, you might have swayed me a bit. It's not the most exciting. There's no suspense. It's just like, oh, can you pick it up or can you
Yeah.
not? I could live with B. I don't know.
could live with B.
I was really gung-ho about weightlifting for a bit, but honestly, I think it was just
Then
me.
I said the anal prolapse.
Yeah,
thing.
I've kind of
Sorry.
been turned off it a bit.
Okay, Kyle.
All right, we're gonna go with this, buddy. We got canoeing.
This one, it's pretty action-packed in my opinion. You're seeing
Surprisingly
them on
so.
the rapids going. I like their little outfits. I like the hats. Yeah, I don't think it's an S plus tier.
No.
I don't really understand how it works.
No, I don't really get the logistics of it, but I think it's cool that it's even an option. You know,
Yeah.
it's kind of like out of left field. It's
I have
like,
some bad experiences with canoes. Like,
Well, I can't swim, so a lot of these upcoming sports I'm not going to be super big fan of.
we learn fun things about Nolan every episode. So
You already knew that.
I did know that.
That wasn't a learning experience.
that's
That was
kind of
just
a weakness,
mocking experience.
honestly.
Well, it is a
When I was a child, I was thrown into pools for survival swimming because I live in Florida. Go Rays! And I was thrown in a pool with Miss Sherry, and I had to find my own way out. And you're telling me this grown man can't do what a 6-month-old baby could do? Clearly, I'm the alpha in this relationship.
I mean, we already knew that you were the alpha male.
You just gotta jump
out
in
of
the
two of
water
us.
and see what
yeah,
happens.
just as easy.
Yeah.
B tier.
Honest,
Sports will just
I would
know,
maybe say C. I feel like weightlifting and bobsleigh
I'd
both
probably
kick
say
canoeing's
C
ass.
as well.
Yeah, I feel like it's not a fair judgment. Yeah. Like, don't get me wrong, canoeing's kind of cool, but it's mainly just the novelty of like, oh, they got canoeing, you know? Like, I'm not...
Yeah.
Whatever.
comes
Gymnastics.
with
This is an
Oh.
S plus. This is an S tier
Okay.
sport. Oh my gosh.
See, it's just, it's fun to watch. It's very unpredictable. You don't know exactly what's going to happen. It's like...
I love watching gymnastics. That is like honestly another peak human athleticism.
For sure.
You're seeing like Simone Biles do those like crazy flips.
It's insane.
I will say I don't find the men's as engaging as the women's.
No offense taken.
But
That's
honestly,
completely valid.
I am that way with most sports. Because I am a lesbian. So,
I'm not
yeah.
going to dispute that.
yeah.
I don't know.
Not much to say. It's just a great sport.
It's quality. Just no complaints.
No
honestly.
complaints.
No
Great
notes.
sport.
Yeah, I'm the same way. The outfits are shiny.
Yeah.
It's true.
Oh my
the
gosh, the
visual
shiny
component,
outfits.
Dude, the visual component is off the chain.
Why doesn't weightlifting have shiny outfits? Why
That's
doesn't
what I'm saying.
canoe have shiny outfits?
Bro, you know what would be really cool?
Sparkles.
Yo, you know what would be really cool? Is if for pentathlon they had 5 different shiny outfits.
Yes.
That would be awesome.
That's
that
so
would
cool.
Take notes, Olympic
Hey,
Committee.
Olympic Committee, if you want to bump up pentathlon to B tier, just make them wear different outfits and make them shiny. We can rework the list, okay?
Okay, Nolan, you're up.
Okay, artistic swimming. So previously known as synchronized swimming, they have now renamed it, which I'm not too big a fan of the name, honestly. I like the way it was before, but I don't know. I feel like this is cool from a visual standpoint, but maybe not the best display of athleticism, you know?
I think it's a solid B tier.
Yeah.
I think it looks really cool.
The team element is
you know,
impressive.
having to tread water like that's a lot of athleticism. But it's just not super engaging.
No. I mean, there are showy
think-
moments.
yeah,
there are cool parts.
It's got cool outfits, but
And I respect
you know,
the fact that they have like team
Yeah.
routines that they're doing, and that's cool. I like it. We're talking about artistic swimming right now,
I was
which,
just thinking
which coincidentally is what they call it when I go to the pool.
Artistic.
that's called drowning, Nolan.
I think you replaced one of those letters.
Well, Nolan, the only way you can get any action is drowning in a public pool.
What?
Yeah.
Okay, Kyle, you're up.
All right, we'll go with this one. We got equestrian.
I'm a little bit. Okay, you're just anti-animal.
That's cheating. You're not even doing it yourself.
Well, it requires. I find dressage to be very fascinating. I like seeing horses dance.
Okay.
However, I'm also kind of anti-horse recently because of what they put our poor friend Melissa through.
Horses are not a good animal to begin with, but the fact that they basically just steal the spotlight away from the humans when this is the Olympics, a display of human ability, for me, F tier.
Horse.
Absolute F
To
tier.
quote Shelby Newland, horses are God's mistake.
Boo. Boo horses.
I'm
It's not
a
impressive
little
either.
warmer on this because I just think it's really cool for like a human and animal to
Yeah.
have that kind of connection.
I don't think it's F tier.
It's F tier.
No, you just hate animals. There's a lot of danger implicit in equestrian. And it's something I respect a lot. And I think the horse jumping, that's crazy. Dressage, crazy. But it's not something I really want to watch at the Olympics.
No, I would much rather, honestly, I would rather watch a human jump. Even if it
That
maybe is
track
less
and field.
impressive. Yeah.
Or is that
Yeah.
track and field?
Yeah.
I'm
know,
gonna
equestrian's
say
boring.
I have some people at home that are gonna be real mad about this.
F tier.
I'm gonna say D.
I don't know.
Beach volleyball. Talk about an F tier sport.
See, beach is in the name. to me, this is like vacation, hanging out, doing your own thing. This is not,
It's just worse
flexing at the
volleyball.
Olympics.
You would think I would love it. There's, women and booty
Believe
shorts,
me,
but,
I agree. But this is just not it.
It's just Melissa's gonna hate that because she
Don't
loves
care.
beach volleyball. It's
Don't care.
it's just like if you're good enough at normal volleyball, they'll say, "Why don't you do beach volleyball?" And it just messes up your joints.
Yeah, I don't know. This is lame. Like, as
Yeah,
I said,
there's
it
nothing
just,
else to say about it. It's just worse volleyball.
Yeah, it has a connotation
Sand's
of
the
just dicking
worst.
around, and the Olympics is not the time for that.
Yeah.
I like beach volleyball.
Well, that's too bad. Figure skating. All right.
That's
this
an
is
S
a great
tier.
sport.
Talk about
this is
sparkles.
fantastic. Dude,
You like figure skating, yeah?
Oh yeah.
this is probably my earliest memory of the Olympics is when I was like 7 or 8 years old, watching the figure skating, just transfixed to the screen like, whoa. Like seeing them do all the tricks and stuff on the ice, just gliding across there. Dude,
I
that's
think
so
it's
cool.
solid S tier. Not
Absolutely.
much to discuss there.
Figure skating is really cool. Yeah.
Figure skating is really cool. Good point.
We have fencing.
Why must beekeepers fight?
See, this one looks goofy, especially with the costumes. But I'm gonna be honest, it's kind of not that exciting. Like it's just stabby, stabby. Ooh,
I'm gonna put this in D tier, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think it's really cool. We have like legal sword fighting, basically.
I mean, yeah.
But it's no danger.
Yeah.
'Cause they're wearing
there's
the
too
suit
much
and everything.
protection.
Now, if they were just chilling in like a
If they
tracksuit
had
or something,
broad swords
that
and
would
they
be
were
cool. Like I want to see some dude at the Olympics get stabbed. That
Or
would be
if they were wearing
awesome.
like medieval armor.
Yeah. Make it like fully commit to it, right?
Fully commit to the bit.
Right now, they're half-assing fencing, and I'm not down for that. It could be cool, but as it stands now, it's just kind of like.
My friend at Tech is on the fencing team. Shout out Kevin.
Shout out Kevin.
Hey,
Shout out Kevin.
great job, Kevin. Hope you get to the Olympics.
Basketball.
Oh shoot.
Basketball's probably one of my least favorite of the popular American sports. Mostly because I was raised very much around it. My brother's a basketball player. My grandmother was a Division I basketball player. And I was never good at it.
So,
sad.
here's my thing, right? I don't have any personal issue with basketball, but when I'm thinking the Olympics, this is not what I think, right?
And America just smokes every year.
Yeah, I mean, basketball is like something I would think like, ESPN or whatever, like just everyday recreational athleticism. This is like flex a bit,
And a big part of the appeal of professional basketball in the United States is the culture surrounding it. There's no denying what basketball has done for American culture, but in the Olympics,
Like March Madness and stuff,
yeah. Thoughts?
I have a lot to say about this.
Okay.
So basketball is my favorite sport.
But is it your
Let's
favorite
talk about
Olympic
that.
sport, though?
Well, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Don't interrupt.
So I love
Oh,
playing
sorry.
it. I love watching in the NBA. I will somewhat agree on the whole. It doesn't fit well with the Olympics vibes. However, I'll push back a little bit because basketball is actually a really growing sport worldwide, especially in Europe.
And that's kind of like, I don't know, that's almost depressing too. It's like,
Yeah.
I want to see some like real underdog, like curveball countries that I don't usually care about.
Right.
Do something cool for once,
Sorry, Jonathan.
You're not gonna get that with basketball,
Not really. No.
which is it's kind of sad. All right, sailing. I'll be honest, I didn't even know this was an option.
That's an F tier
I didn't even-
sport. I have
Actually-
some experiences
Okay.
with sailboats.
I will say, I didn't know
Sailboat
sailing was in the
trauma.
Olympics until yesterday when I printed all these off. But I looked up some highlights. It's actually
Yeah.
kind of cool, dude. The guy is like horizontal, like pulling his sail, and that's like I've never seen someone orient a
Add
boat
rugby
that
to the
way.
list.
It's so cool. I don't know. I was pleasantly surprised. I mean, don't get me wrong. The novelty wore off pretty quickly. I would still maybe leave it at like B or C, but I was like, wow, sailing, interesting.
I have never seen a second of sailing. I didn't know it was an Olympic sport until just now. Not a fan of being on boats personally. Not a fan of watching other people be on boats.
It's such like a hoity-toity activity.
It is definitely pretentious. I'll give you that.
And if I wanted to see sailing, I would look in my backyard, not tune into the Olympics.
Yeah. Agreed.
Okay.
Okay,
You can
Kyle.
have your moment.
All right. We'll do this one.
I just ran into a dock when I was on a
Ooh.
sailboat one time, and it was.
This is an interesting one. Diving.
That's beautiful
Oh,
sport.
I love diving.
The
Dude.
pageantry, the showmanship. I think that's an S tier sport.
And you know it's an S tier sport because they always have to do it in slow motion for you to even
They go
see what they did, and it always looks great, even at like quarter speed. That's impressive.
Can I say something?
Yeah, absolutely.
I think this is S plus.
Well, we don't
We
decide
don't
that
decide
until
until
the
the
end.
end.
Oh.
You know that if you watch more than 2 minutes of our
See,
episode.
This is a recurring theme: is our guests are actually fake fans who don't watch the show, so they don't know how
true.
it
I'm a
works.
fake fan. Okay.
Yeah.
Well,
This is an S tier
But this is
sport.
definitely
diving
S.
is S tier sport. The only thing that brings it down is the British are really good at it.
And now we hate British people on Tear It Up.
That's true.
Is that
I
canon?
don't even have to be a fan to know that.
Ski jumping, another S tier sport. Oh, my
heck
gosh,
yeah.
S tier.
Dude.
This is so crazy.
Absolutely. I feel like you would die if you did that.
Yeah.
Normally.
What the
Like,
hell?
Maybe.
And like, I don't know, something about seeing them just float down, like perfectly still, but just
yeah.
perfectly arced.
That's really
Amazing.
cool.
It's so cool. A lot of the winter sports are really cool, honestly.
Yeah,
Like,
I think
just from a
ski-
visual standpoint.
very cool. I actually went to the one in, was it Utah, I think, at the Olympic Park there, and they made the ski jumps into water slides.
Oh,
and they
that
were
is so
terrifying to
awesome.
go on. So
Bro, we need to go. That's awesome.
I mean, you have to deal with a lot of Mormons.
Yeah, it's Utah also.
Anyways,
Well, maybe they'll have the good flag by the time we get there, though.
that's true. That's the last episode.
Oh, I love curling, dude. Dude, this
Curling,
is such a
that's-
curveball.
Curling's like a meme sport to me. Like people
Okay.
like, oh, I like curling, try to be like quirky. It's the same people that like curling are the same people that are like, oh, I'm gonna watch some sports ball today. And we're not gonna-
No,
it's
no,
so annoying.
no,
Curling is
no.
a Nolan Davidson sport.
Oh, absolutely. Here's the thing, okay? Now, you say it's like a quirky sport. Like, I feel like you're trying to say it's like the same thing as like table tennis or maybe.
No,
like
I'm not
equestrian.
saying it's like table tennis or equestrian. I'm saying that curling is what white men who use the word pupper tune into at the Olympics.
It's
No,
like
no, no, no.
millennials.
Curling
No.
is what the
watch the
average
Olympics.
Bob's Burgers fan likes.
You love Bob's Burgers.
I know it. I watch curling. This
Yeah,
is a
curling is
Celtic.
awesome. Here's the thing. Here's the thing.
Curling did make an appearance on an episode of Johnny Test, which I will give
remember
it
that.
points for.
I remember that. I don't know if you should give or subtract points for that.
I'm thinking we should give. Okay, the thing about curling is though, to separate it from all the other like hoity-toity, like, oh, look at me.
You like saying hoity-toity.
Well, Kalista said it first.
Okay.
The thing is with this is like I feel like there's not really much connotation of this as like a recreational sport. I'm sure it exists, but like when people say curling, you know they mean the Olympics. Sure, it's kind of a goofy sport, but it's quintessential to like the Winter Olympics.
Can I say, like, wasn't it like curling? How the hell do people train for that?
I have no
I
idea.
have never seen any curling facilities.
Absolutely not. It's
or-
mystifying. I
Like-
don't
It's
even
like
know.
goddamn tax evasion.
It's
It's
like-
like, it's
it's
like a
like-
white collar crime.
It's like they don't exist until the Olympics pop up, and then suddenly, oh, there's all these curlers.
And I'll tell you
Where
what.
do they come from?
And I'll tell you what, Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm invested. I'm like,
You're
holy
invested.
crap,
Yeah.
curling. I don't know. For me,
I
it's
just
gotta be S
find
tier.
curling is like the handlebar mustaches of Olympic sports. Curling is the IPA of Olympic sports, you know? It's people trying to be unique by watching it. No shade on people that do curling, it's just the culture surrounding it. I definitely don't think it's an S tier sport.
Oh,
I'll
ridiculous.
compromise at B tier.
B? No,
Yeah.
we gotta go at least
Kyle.
A.
I'd say B just because it's the only sport that can get straight white men to use a broom.
Hey!
I think that's
Besides
something
that,
Put it in B.
Oh, can we please go A, guys? I love curling.
they're just kind of sweeping it, and it's
B
in
tier.
B.
Oh.
Okay.
We got cycling. These are big wheels.
Big wheels.
Well, gotta cover a lot of
Bigger
ground.
than,
Yeah. So the only reason I know about cycling is because of Lance Armstrong.
You
I
mean
was
you've
gonna
never
say.
heard of a bike?
the wheels are larger than Lance Armstrong's balls after those steroids,
Yeah.
man.
Yeah, and I think if your sport is widely known by most people in the Olympics for like a steroid scandal, it probably is a good measure of like how entertaining it is to watch.
And also, the Tour de France does a better job at showcasing cycling. I'm going to put this in D tier just
Yeah,
for that.
I think that's fair. I will say, like, I think that it's nice because it's accessible, but on the other hand, that's kind of a detriment when you're talking about the Olympics, right? This is
Yeah.
just not a particularly exciting Olympic sport, you know?
I really like those videos of like the cyclists being thrown off bridges, though.
That sounds really sadistic, Kyle.
Yeah,
He's anti-cycling. Okay.
I am. As a runner who had to share lots of roads with cyclists, I'm anti-cyclist.
I'm anti-cyclist. Saturday morning bikers are the bane of my existence.
Yep.
Triathlon. Worst parts of every sport.
Actually,
I used to compete in triathlons as a child, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm
wanna
gonna
do one of them.
Do
disagree.
the meek and the mighty. That TikToker Noel who went from being a heroin addict to like a champion Ironman athlete. I respect that. But also he said that during races he just pisses himself.
No, that's what they do all the time. or shit yourself.
Hey man, you gotta do what you gotta do.
So any sport
'Cause
that
if you
involves you
stop
it,
pissing
it's
or
just
shitting
time.
yourself, that does not belong
Okay.
on
That's
C
metal,
tier.
though.
I'm gonna push back on that a little bit. First of all, not mandatory. If you want, you could sacrifice your time
all-
and your skill and go take a dump
Yeah.
like a normal person. If you want to be an elite competitor, then you piss yourself.
Nothing that involves you being an elite competitor with pissing
What?
yourself.
What? It's a strategy.
Also, if you manage to like piss or shit yourself while running, I think
That's kind of impressive.
Did you ever shit yourself while running?
I don't think I
always had
could.
to stop.
Like, if I'm at a urinal, I have to be like
I came close a
completely in
couple
the zone.
times.
Like, all right, we're stopped. We're gonna take a piss now. I don't think I could piss myself while running.
Me neither.
If anything,
I think I could.
If anything, that's more impressive. Now, I will also push back on your original assumption about triathlon being like the worst part of every sport. To me, this is more raw skill involved than pentathlon. Honestly, I think this is better than pentathlon. Because look, you got running, you got cycling, you got swimming. These are more natural activities than
think
riding
it's-
a horse or shooting a gun.
I'll say B tier.
I would
Yeah,
root for A.
I would
I'm pushing
say
for A.
B. I think it also is better than pentathlon.
Yeah,
Just because it's
more
not
focused.
random assortment of sports. It's
This is-
not something that I want to watch just because it takes forever.
Takes
That's
forever.
true. The visual component, don't care.
But same with pentathlon, and I think it's better than pentathlon.
Objectively, I think this is a great Olympic sport.
I'll say B
Yeah.
tier.
Yeah, I'm with B.
All right.
Okay. Nolan,
Golf.
you're gonna put that in F
I,
tier.
I don't know why they even have this as an option, man. When I think Olympics, I think high energy, action, pumped up, let's go, exciting stuff. This
I
is
think
golf.
we can all agree
this is
that
boring.
golf is an F tier
Why
sport.
is this at the
I agree.
freaking Olympics, dude?
No need for much discussion.
Ridiculous.
Kyle.
Water polo.
That's impressive athleticism
Dude,
I
right
agree.
there.
I don't know, like when you go in the pool, like I can barely move around,
I know.
and they're like doing a whole ass like
Playing handball in the
yeah,
water.
that's insane to me. Now, I will say like this is kind of like hurling, and like I feel like you don't really see anything about it unless you're around the Olympics.
Really,
stuff.
I hear a lot about water polo.
I never hear about water polo unless it's like Olympic stuff. So like I feel like that kind of has its own thing where it's like very much an Olympic connotation, you know?
I think because of that, maybe we put it in A tier, but I respect the athleticism.
Oh, I 100% respect it. It's very impressive.
I would say SRA. I went through a water polo phase in
I
the
could go
last
S.
Olympics where my sister would always get pissed at me whenever I turn on water polo. She's like, "Wait, let's watch something else."
No, it's fun to watch.
It's
I
very
agree.
cool.
Kyle's sister,
Yeah.
you need to rethink your priorities.
Yeah, Caitlin, come on.
Yeah, that was not a good moment for Caitlin right there.
Skiing.
Oh, this is awesome. Dude, I will say, like,
I think this is an A tier. It's not as good as ski
no,
jumping.
definitely not as good as a jump. But like
Yeah.
any like snow-related sport, I am very much like a fan of. Just 'cause,
too.
like snow is cool, man.
It is pretty cool.
And I've never been in a situation where I've even had the opportunity to attempt any of them. So to me, they're all like this mythical, like almost fantastical display of skill, athleticism. It's I don't know. Skiing is just a really cool event.
It is.
Especially when you got the flags and they're like slaloming and everything.
I
Dude,
really
that's
like
cool.
the skiing level on Mario and Sonic at the Sochi 2014
There's
Winter
also-
Olympic Games.
Oh, that is true. I also just remembered the ski jump in Wii Fit, another banger.
Yeah.
Wii Fit made me so sad as a child.
I loved Wii Fit.
Shout out to
Impact
if Wii Fit gave you an eating disorder.
Oh no, it did that to me.
That's
Well,
true
not-
because Wii Fit assumes that you're at least like 20 to begin with.
Shout out
Fit
Nintendo,
told me-
you gave me an eating disorder at age 10.
Yeah, we fit told me I was morbidly obese.
Yeah, I was not morbidly obese, I was 10.
Yeah, I was 7.
Yeah, it was a fun
Put it
game.
in A tier.
I was morbidly obese though.
I somewhat doubt that. Oh wow, snowboarding! What a
No, 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 no.
surprise!
I love snowboarding.
I love snowboarding, too.
It's pretty rad.
It's very rad.
You got a lot of
Shaun White,
Sean White.
Yeah.
Sean White's the GOAT.
freaking legend.
Who's the like
There's a whole game about
19-year-old
him.
kid that
Yeah.
won gold at the last one?
Yeah,
This
man.
is
It adds for a lot of young blood in the Olympics.
for sure,
I
and it's
appreciate
very
that.
showy, which I think is a good thing about the
I definitely
Olympics.
think it's either an A or S tier. I don't, maybe not S tier, but
I don't know. I could go S.
I could go S as well.
I could go S.
It,
Let's
it
go
definitely
S.
has the cultural impact too.
Yeah, it
'cause
has that cultural
Shaun White was such a
impact.
celebrity. He has his own video game, like kind of like a Tony Hawk
true.
type thing.
Mm-hmm.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I think that snowboarding could be S.
Put it in S.
Yeah.
Kyle.
Alright. We got speed skating.
One of the best athlete names of all time, Apollo Ono, is a speed skater.
cool
So I will
name.
like widely respect that. Is it fun to watch? Not really. But
I don't know, because they're just going like shoot, shoot,
just-
shoot,
yeah.
shoot, 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 shoot. I don't know, like if I want to watch skating, I want to watch the figure skating. Yeah,
I think that will go in C tier for me.
C or B. Yeah,
I
probably
would
C.
agree with C.
Yeah.
Swimming. This is an S tier sport for me.
See,
Swimming
It's
is something I will always tune into to the Olympics. It's something I grew up competing in. A lot of my friends ended up doing, swimming in college. So it's something, culturally I've really been around, being from Florida and all. I love swimming.
I don't know,
This
man.
is something I will always watch at the Olympics.
It's not nearly as entertaining as like water polo
Bullshit.
or snowboarding or any
Fuck
of that.
you.
No, it's
no.
absolutely not. It's
No,
like,
swimming, you get that nail-biting action in swimming that you really don't get in any other sport.
it's just track and field, but in water.
Katie Ledecky, one of the best athletes of all time, a swimmer. Michael Phelps, one of the greatest athletes and marijuana enthusiasts of all time, a swimmer. Ryan Lochte, America's greatest jackass, a swimmer. Who went to the University of Florida. Go Gators.
It's also not as good as diving. Diving is way cooler.
I disagree. I like swimming more.
Excuse me?
It's nail biting.
You're
I'm
not
like
gonna-
on the
Oh
edge of
my
my seat
God.
every time I am watching swimming.
Okay, so swimming, I really like. When I was younger, it was my favorite sport to watch in the Olympics. Michael Phelps was like my hero. He was the reason that I went to Subway because I was like, if I
Not
could
Jared?
eat Subway,
Hopefully not,
it's
Jared.
like if I could eat Subway enough, maybe I'll become Michael Phelps. Didn't happen as it turns out.
Well, you
'cause
just
my
didn't
feet
eat
are
enough Subway.
18 inches long, but yeah, I really like swimming. I will say my interest in it has waned over the past couple years.
I think it's got to be A is reasonable.
I would say
but,
A,
like, it's just not as interesting to watch as the other.
but I
S-tier
do
sports.
agree with the iconic status of it.
For sure. I'll give you that. And
God,
it's definitely
putting it in A tier is like a travesty to
no.
me.
I mean, like the direct competition aspect of it, absolutely.
It sounds
But
like someone is afraid to go in the
Well,
pool, Nolan.
I'm not afraid to go in the pool as long as we stay in the 3 or 4 foot zone, okay?
Nolan's taking out his inability to
No.
swim on the sport of swimming.
No. Because in that case, I would also have a bias against all of these because I'm not an athlete. I think A.
This was my choice.
Wrestling. Okay, this is cringe.
Probably
dude.
the gayest sport.
I wasn't gonna say it. I'm glad the lesbian decided to say that.
When you're up by a guy's balls like that closely.
I don't want that to be me.
And also wrestling promotes. We do a lot of eating disorder talk on this show, but wrestling very much promotes
Yeah.
eating disorders.
Yeah.
It's
Especially
true. You gotta be in the
young
right
men.
weight class.
Yeah, it encourages young men to starve themselves and to do very dangerous things. I think just as a concept, I know it's the original Olympic sport, but they're not even doing it naked anymore. I would respect it more if they did it naked.
Did they originally do it naked?
Yeah. And all greased up in olive oil.
That's
in like
disgusting.
Rome,
Yeah, in Greece.
That is
That's my people, the Greeks.
you somehow managed to make wrestling even more unappetizing. This is definitely an F
And
tier
also,
for me.
ringworm palooza in this sport.
AIDS, yeah. It looks like the two elderly ladies fighting over the last fish at Publix.
Yeah,
you know
it's
what I
like
mean?
okay, this is just
There's
kind of cringeworthy. Like I don't. Yeah, definitely F.
Kyle, last three, because we don't have rugby.
3.
Oh.
Rowing.
This is I don't know. I
There
feel like
are
this
rowers
is just
on campus.
this is just
so
like
What are they
team
gonna do?
canoeing.
They're gonna hit you with their paddles.
Yeah.
Rowing
Honestly,
is-
D. Yeah,
Yeah.
one of the weaker ones for sure.
Shooting. We have shooting, but
F.
not fucking rugby.
F.
F tier.
This is not even like a sport, okay?
It's pew pew.
Yeah,
With the
there's
state of America,
there's-
absolutely not.
yeah. Honestly, like this is not even a sport. This is just you're using a weapon and being like, "Oh, look at me." No, dude.
Okay, put it in F tier and move on.
Shooting.
The last one.
Archery. Now this is a good
Really,
one.
and not hockey, not rugby,
Not
not alley,
volleyball?
not
Those are
volleyball,
not-
not
Why do we
normal
have-
volleyball.
Wait, why do we have beach?
Mike, I
and
need a
not
piece of
regular?
paper and a pen and some tape. Welcome back. Let's, Kyle, go ahead and choose our
This
next
is
one.
this is a tragedy
Alright,
right
well,
here.
This one is baseball.
That's a regular sport. That's not an Olympic sport.
You literally have basketball on there. It is an Olympic
For
sport.
comedic
However,
effect.
I do have some thoughts, especially because the MLB doesn't let its players play in the Olympics, which causes for a lesser quality in baseball. Now, I'm a huge baseball fan. My beloved Tampa Bay Rays are currently 9-0, best team in the MLB. Go Rays! But you know,
They're gonna lose the next 11 games in a row.
We had to fit it in somewhere.
But baseball in the Olympics, because of the way that it's handled, and the U.S. is not dominant just because, Japan is a powerhouse, Cuba is a powerhouse, the Dominican Republic, all powerhouses, and I appreciate that other teams are beating America's pastime.
There is multiculturalism.
So I'm gonna say a B tier.
B for baseball, huh? This is fairly ridiculous.
Martial arts. I think this is a great sport. I think the addition of Taekwondo in the Olympics was great, and I'm a little bit biased because I did. Nolan, you're just defeated that we added more sports.
I'm a little bit pissed, to be honest, because I could have at least done it ahead of time and made it look nice.
Nolan, you sent me this while I was actively on a plane.
And I was like, hey, look it over. And you were still like, looks good.
I like martial arts.
Martial arts, I think that's an A tier sport.
Yeah, I like the concept of belts. I think they look cool.
It's not. Soccer. I don't like soccer.
I love soccer. Go Rowdies.
I'm not big on soccer either, but that's just me. Rugby.
Rugby is just like
Rugby
soccer,
is an S tier sport. Rugby is an S tier sport. It's the best parts of football and soccer combined.
Is it?
Rugby sevens is a great sport, and I'm gonna put that in S tier.
I don't think it'd be. There's no way it's better than all this stuff.
I love watching rugby.
I could go for maybe like a B.
I'd go for B or A.
I'll say A.
I feel like it's not that. It's not as special as you're making it out to be.
Yeah, I know that movie that they made. That is not very specific, but
I've seen a movie too.
Yeah, it's about rugby, I swear.
Climbing, the newest sport that was in the most recent Summer Olympics. I hated watching climbing. I hated it. It was so dumb.
You added it to the list posthumously.
Yeah, just to put it in F tier.
You're covered. Well, it's an F tier. Who cares? All right, what we got? Hockey.
Go Bolts.
Hockey is okay. I think it does fit.
I love hockey.
It fits in more with the winter sports of the Winter Olympics a little bit better. So, like, I'll give it points for that since it's on ice.
And also, Miracle on Ice.
I think
beating the
valid.
Russians, very patriotic.
I'm always a fan of that.
And fights, penalty boxes, which I like to call gay baby jail.
Hockey is more action-packed. I think it's a good sport.
Yeah.
I don't really think the Olympics when I think of it, but I'll settle for like an A tier maybe.
Yeah, let's put it in A tier.
Yeah, I'm with A. Lots of people getting hurt. Lots of blood.
Any prolapsed anuses?
I hope
don't know about
Missing
that.
teeth. And our last one for today.
Volleyball.
S tier.
I agree.
Is it though?
I think volleyball is the ideal sport, and let me explain.
Okay.
So we've got two sides. We've got lots of action, almost nonstop action.
Non-stop action.
Not a lot of ref stoppage, not a lot of controversy. If the ball hits and people are like, oh, is it in or out? Instant replay. Okay, it's out. All right, we're moving on. Next serve, go. Defined positions. That you can have volleys that go on for so long. Most of the games are super close. Most of the games, the potential to go into like overtime, extra points is really high. I've seen games go up to in the 40s. Crazy stuff. I think it's super unpredictable, super cool. Men's and women's. I say volleyball is the ideal sport. I say
It's a good one. Not really something I think about the Olympics, but
Volleyball, the Olympics is a big thing.
Is it? I feel like it's just a regular sport.
I mean, most of these are just regular sports.
I just like watching it at the Olympics.
All right,
Okay.
we gotta figure out.
Diving.
Diving is pretty freaking good. I think diving, figure
is S+.
skating, and ski jumping are probably our picks.
But I think diving's the best.
Yeah, because ski jumping is just a worse diving, honestly. And figure skating, like, that goes on for minutes.
Yeah.
Diving, though, is like probably 2 seconds tops. They have to slow that down and milk it just to fill the space. But it's amazing every time. Diving is, that's pretty rock solid.
I would motion for volleyball and S+, but that's just me.
No.
Diving
is a much better expression of
You can
human
only put one in
athleticism
S+?
in a bit. What's
Just
that?
one in S+.
No, there's only one
I
in
did
S+.
not know that.
And to me, the fact that diving is so short, so condensed, but so impressive is what makes it the ideal Olympic sport.
Agreed.
Right? And even to attempt to dive, to me, is insane.
And you're up so high.
Right, like 30 feet in the air, something like that?
There's no contest that diving is the number one sport.
It's insane to even try, but to get people who are so successful and so technically able and gifted, thank you, that is a human achievement. So I have to go diving.
Diving is one of those things that reminds you of the indomitable human spirit.
Yeah, it's kind of beautiful.
Anyways, thank you for tuning in to our show, and we'll see you guys next time on
Tear
Tear
It
It Up!
Never forget.